In this video, I'll be telling you how to play Kaha by Prateek Kuhad. So we'll be starting with our guitar on the standard tuning and capo on the 3rd fret. Alright, before I start this lesson, I'll be teaching you how to play this song on an electric guitar because in the soundtrack it is played on an electric guitar. But if you do not have an electric guitar with you, if you only have an acoustic, it's completely fine. You can play it there. It sounds great there too. Also, I made a playthrough of this song, so if you have any confusions about which bars are played where, you can check out that video. Alright, so in order to play the first bar, which is in order to play that, we will be using the C shape over here, which is your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, your G string will be open, and first finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Alright? Okay, so we will be plucking the A string, G string and your B string first with your thumb, first finger and middle finger of your right hand. Alright, so 3rd fret of the A string, followed by open G and B. Alright. After that, you'll be playing the 2nd fret of the D string. Alright, 2nd fret of the D string, followed by open G and B. Alright, so next you'll be making this shape, which is your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your D string and G string will be kept open, and your first finger will be on the 1st fret of the B string. Alright, so you'll be following the same plucking pattern again. Your thumb will be playing the A string, followed by your open B and followed by your open G, and your 1st fret of the B string. Alright, so after that, your D string, open D, open G, and 1st fret B. So, right, so far it will sound like this. Sorry. After that, you'll be making this shape. Right, so you'll just bring your middle finger to the D string, keeping the G string open and 1st fret of the B string here. Right, so you'll be plucking you'll be using the same plucking pattern. That is, your thumb will be plucking the A string and followed by your open G string and 1st fret of the B string. Right, so alright, next you'll be playing this. So that's your 2nd fret of the D string, followed by your open E string with your middle finger. So followed by 2nd fret of the D string and 1st fret of the B string. So alright, so the first bar will sound like this when you play it slowly. Alright, so alright, now that you know which notes are being played, you now have to speed it up. So it should sound like this. Alright, that's the 2nd bar. Alright, so what you do here is you basically play these notes. Alright, so with your thumb, so that's, and followed by, after every note, you play these G string and the B string. So, right? So what you'll be doing is, in order to improve that speed, you gotta keep practicing, just Right, you got to do that till you reach that point where you're comfortable playing that these notes in that speed. All right, so. Alright, so speeding it up, it'll be. Alright, you start slow. Alright, so you'll be doing that practice. Just keep practicing till you get the speeds right. Alright, so when you get the speeds right, it'll sound like this. So you can play along with me, in order to, build that speed that you need. Right? Alright, so the second bar sounds like this. Right, so in order to play the second bar, we'll be starting with our thumb on the first fret of the E string, the sixth string, and your first finger on the first fret of the B string, open G string, and third fret of the D string. Alright, so we'll be playing the first fret of the E string, followed by your open G and first fret B, followed by your third fret of the D string. So alright, after that you'll be moving on to this shape, which is your ring finger on the third fret of the E string, followed by your middle finger on the second fret of the A string, and the rest of the strings will be open. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Which is your third fret of the E string, followed by open G and open B, and followed by the second fret of the A string. Alright, so we started with this. Alright, so okay, after you've played that, you'll be moving on to the C shape, right? And you'll be playing this, right? So that's basically your third fret of the A string, followed by your open G and first fret B, right? So right, followed by your second fret of the D string, followed by your first fret of the B string. So after that you'll be playing the open the second fret of the D string, followed by open E string. Alright. After that you'll be going back to this. So that's your second fret of the D string and first fret of the B string. So alright, so that was your second bar, which after you've learned it and you build up the speeds it should sound like this. Alright. Alright, so that was the second bar, and what he does is you play this twice. So for the intro, you play this twice. So that's alright. So you play that twice. After that, you'll be playing this 4 times. So that's basically you're doing the you aren't changing the shape made by your left hand. So you're just sticking to the C shape and playing these notes over and over 4 times. So that's 4. Right. So you play this 4 times. So right. So then you move on to the verses. So the verses are basically what you just learned right now, the first bar and the second bar. So right, now that you've learned how to play the first bar and the second bar, which are for the intro and the verses, you'll be moving on to the third bar, which is for the chorus. Alright, so the third bar sounds like this. Alright, so in order to play that, you'll be going back to this shape again, which you played in the second bar. So that's your first finger, your thumb on the first fret of the E string, followed by your first finger on the first fret of the B string, open G string, and third fret of the D string. Alright, so you'll be plucking the E string, followed by open G and your first fret B, followed by your third fret of the D string. So followed by your first fret of the E string. Alright, after that you'll be moving on to this shape, which is basically your ring finger on the third fret of the E string, followed by your open G and open B. So followed by your open D. Alright, so alright, followed by your third fret of the E string again. So alright. Alright, so in between you can add some of these notes, these notes that you can play them softly. You can keep this to first finger and your second finger, first finger and your middle finger of your right hand. You can keep them running, to get a better sound, but that'll come with practice. So if you're, trying this for the first time, don't bother about it. Okay, so after you've played that, you'll be moving on to the C shape now. Alright, and you'll be playing. Alright, so after you've played that, you'll now be moving on to the C shape. Right, and you'll be playing this. Alright, so in order to play that, you'll be placing your ring finger on the third fret of the A string, followed by your middle finger on the second fret of the D string, open G string, and first fret of the B string. So, alright. After that, you will be playing the A string, followed by your open G and first fret B. So, followed by your second fret of the D string. So, after that, you will be playing your third fret of the A string and stopping it immediately. So, right after that, the notes that you'll be playing are your third fret of the D string, third fret of the A string, sorry, your second fret of the D string, and third fret of the A string. So the bass notes, they'll sound like this, right? And you can keep your first finger and your second finger running. So, alternating between the G string and the B string. But if you're playing this for the first time, you don't have to bother with this right now at the moment. You just keep your bass notes in focus. So that's, and these first finger and your second finger, speed will come with practice. So you have to keep practicing. So, alright. So altogether, this third bar will sound like this. Alright, so altogether this third bar will sound like this. Right, after you've played this, you'll be moving on to this. Alright, so after you've learned how to play the first three bars, you basically learned how to play the entire song except the bridge, which I'll be showing you how to play right now. So the bridge sounds like this. Alright, so for the bridge, first you'll be making this shape, that is your E shape, right? And you'll be keeping the D string open. Alright, so the notes that are being played are your open E string, right, followed by your first fret of the G string, followed by the open D string and open B string. So, right, followed by, alright, so that's first fret of the G string, open D string, and first fret of the D string. So, alright, next you'll be moving on to this shape, right? So which is basically your A minor shape, but your G string will be kept open. So you'll be following the same plucking pattern, and the notes that you'll be playing are the open A string, followed by the open G string, followed by second fret of the D string, and first fret of the B string. So, followed by the open G string, second fret of the D string, and open G string. So from the beginning, it'll sound like this. Right, next you'll be moving on to this. Right, so that's your ring finger on the third fret of the E string, your middle finger on the second fret of the A string, and your first finger on the first fret of the B string. So you'll be following the same plucking pattern again, which is your thumb will be playing the E string, followed by the open G string, followed by the open D string, and first fret of the B string. So followed by your open G, D, G. So right, and after that you will be moving on to the C shape. So again the same plucking pattern. Your A string, G string, D string, D string, followed by G, D, G. So right, so it will sound like this. Right, so you'll be repeating that again. Right, after you've gone to this shape, after this, you'll be moving on to your F shape that you played earlier. Alright, so your thumb on the first fret of the E string, first finger on the first fret of the B string, open G string, and third fret of the D string. Alright, so and you'll be playing, you'll be using the same plucking pattern again. So that's your first finger on the first fret of the E string, followed by your open G string, followed by your third fret of the D string, and first fret of the B string. So followed by your G, D, G. So right, after that, this time you will be playing the B string open. Right, so third fret of the E string, followed by open G string, followed by D string, open B string, followed by your G, D, G again. Alright, so alright, and after that you'll be going back to what you've learned earlier again. So that's right, and after that you move back to this. And alright, so for when you play this for the last time, right, after you go to the F shape, you'll be playing this. So that's basically your first fret of the E string, followed by the open D string, G string, and your first fret of the B string. So followed by your third fret of the D string, and G and B. So you're playing this 3 times. So and after that you'll be moving on to this this shape with your ring finger on the third fret and middle finger on the second fret of the A string. So third fret E string, second fret A string. So and the rest of the strings will be open. So you're playing it twice. So what you'll be playing is you'll be playing the, after you make the shape, you'll be playing the third fret of the E string, followed by your open G and open B, followed by your open D string and the G and the B strings again. So you'll be playing it twice. And after that you will be playing the third fret of the E string and stop instantly. So alright, so after that you'll be moving on to the verses Yeah, so verses and the chorus again. Alright, so that's basically it. It's a simple song. What you just need, it's a simple song, simple progressions. What you just need to learn in this song is how to, pluck the strings. So you'll need a lot of practice for that. Alright, so that completes the tutorial for this song. It's a very simple song, it just has it's a very simple progression. You just have to keep practicing the plucking technique, so that's alright. So once you master that, the song is very, very, very simple. Thanks for watching.